Hey everybody, it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Today is Saturday and I am going to continue working on my Door County mini album. Last Saturday I brought you day one, so I went through all of Friday, got all the pictures in, got all the pictures stuck back to back, which I like to do. That was my daughter waving hello there. And now I'm just kind of showing you what I did on day one. You can go back on my channel and check and see what else I did on day one. And I think I've just got this one last page of Friday before I move on to my Saturday. So I've got this one 3x4 pocket up here in the upper right, and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to stick in there. I'm running low on kind of like resiny bits that'll match, so I'm just kind of digging through my little Rascog like magnetic spice thingy that I keep all of those in. So I actually decided to skip the resin bits in that one since I already have a couple of gold items going on this spread, that I'm going to throw a couple of those gold puffy Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams puffy gold heart things in there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sequin mix from Lucy's Cards. And then I'm going to run that through my sewing machine just to get that nice and sealed shut so none of those sequins go missing. And that is going to finish me off for day one, excuse me. And then I did do a little bit of work there on day two until my battery ran out last week. So now I'm just going to keep working. That upper pocket there, I just stuck on that weekend puffy word from the Oasis pack. Added some apricot, I believe it was apricot mix from Lucy's Cards. And now I'm just trying to find pink and kind of that apricot-y color embellishments to match, because I kind of want my going across my spread to kind of match color-wise, because to my eye that's kind of always what makes me feel like it is complete. And then I remembered my two 12x12 chipboard sets because I thought, I feel like I have more embellishments somewhere, because it had been a week since I worked on this. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do for that 3x4, that back of that 4x6 page. And like I said before, I like to take a little bit of time to put my pictures, just a little bit of adhesive between my pictures, my 3x4 and my 4x6, and when they're in the pockets, because I think mini albums, they tend to move around a little bit more than they do with my larger albums. This day, my husband and I got up early and went to breakfast at a really fun place in Sister Bay, and I think it was called Base Camp, and they had coffee, tea, breakfast sandwiches, quiches, stuff like that. Now I'm going to grab my second piece of specialty paper from Chasing Dreams. I somehow ended up with 2 sheets of this acetate with gold dot. Oh well. And there I was just showing you my trimmer that I use for my acetate. It is a titanium brand from Target. Just really cheap, but it's got a really nice sharp blade. And I only use it for acetate, so it stays nice and sharp, because as much as I love my Purple Cow guillotine trimmer, it won't go through acetate. It just bends it. It won't cut it, which is fine, because it gives me a nice, clean, crisp cut on absolutely everything, and it does not need to be replaced like ever. So I was just pointing out how I had 2 teal elements and 2 kind of peach elements going on there before I flip to the next page. And that acetate I just left blank, because I think I have a lot going on in this album, and I think occasionally your eye just needs some rest. So here I am. I'm going to create another shaker pocket. I dumped in, I think, some pearl necklace mix by Lucy's Cards. Yes, that's pearl necklace. And at first, when you first sew them shut, and I put it in upside down, they don't shake around a lot, because I don't know if it's the act of sewing it shut, it kind of sucks the air out of it, but then after a few minutes, the air kind of goes back into the pocket a little bit, and then you get a lot more shake going on. Now I'm flipping through that Chasing Dreams pad, because I've got 2 of those gorgeous yellow flowers that were absolutely everywhere up there. And I wanted some more yellow on my spread on the right, because I had so much yellow from those flowers on the left. There you can see I'm pointing that out. And now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do on this 4x6 filler card. I had already used a little bit of that book print vellum with gold on it, which is a Maggie Holmes open book knockoff from Michael's. They had those on clearance a couple of weeks ago for like, I don't know, 50 cents or 99 cents a sheet. Now I'm just trying to bring in some of my other colors there with the pink and a birdie. I was wanting to use that birdie for a long time. I just didn't know where to perch him, so I thought, oh, we'll perch him on that Polaroid there. And then I wanted to use that puffy sticker, but I don't think it makes it because I wanted to bring in that gold Saturday because I had already used the gold Friday and the gold fun. And I still have a gold Sunday to use, and that was from the Oasis chipboard, the 12 by 12 chipboard. And I'm also liking how I am able to add in my lens kit with the Maggie Holmes. I like how that I've been able to integrate that. Now this one I'm going to leave a little bit plainer because there is a lot of really pretty photography on these couple of pages. And once again, these pictures were just taken with my iPhone 7 Plus. It's about maybe 4 months old now, and I'm just really enjoying the pictures that it takes. Just as crisp, if not nicer, than my big Sony camera that unfortunately now just lives in my scrapbook room on my tripod and just films all my scrapbook videos. Wherever I go, I just bring my iPhone and the pictures just turn out wonderful. There haven't been any times that I've really been missing my big camera at all. And now we are moving on to the, I believe it's called the Stavkirke. It is a replica of a 1500s church from Scandinavia somewhere. And right after that, we went to a lavender farm on Washington Island. They have several different lavender farms where they grow lavender to make like bath and body products. They even make cider out of it. There's a ton of different stuff they do with it, and they had just a gorgeous gift shop that was open, and we bought my mom a bunch of stuff from there for Mother's Day. So now I'm trying to bring in some more pinks and purples because of the lavender farm. And I know that tag says LAX, but you know, you just got to use that stuff up. I may never ever go to LAX, so it's just going to go in my Door County album, and I'm okay with that. And once again, I'm trying not to embellish my 3x4s or really even my 4x6 pictures, maybe just getting a tiny word sticker here and there. And I added that sequin mix, I think, on my day one video, because my day one I went through and sewed most of my pockets shut. And that is a little bit of leftover Lucy's Cards mix and a little bit of a Spiegelmom Scraps mix that was basically lavender based. And because I didn't really have much purple, because you know, purple is not the most popular scrapbooking color, so I had a tough time finding any sequins in my stash that were purple. So I was glad I had an old Spiegelmom's sequin mix in there that was purple. That was handy. I think I need to order some more lavender, because if I get any of that new pink paisley collection that's got like neon and purple in it, I'm going to need a couple of purple mixes. So anyhow, just finishing up that card. That is an Allie Edwards card, and because there was yellow in both of those lavender bouquet pictures, I wanted to bring in that kind of mustardy yellow. And there I just added a tiny word sticker that says like, "You are my forever" or something. And once again, last week I put those round acetate lens pieces into pockets, and I just used my tiny attacher. That is a picture of the ferry that we took, and boy, was that a rough ride. That part of Lake Michigan that you go across to get from the very tip of Lake Ellison Bay across the water to Washington Island is called La Porte des Morts, and that's where they came up with Door County, and that means the door of death. You can understand why. That was a choppy 25 minutes, and I get seasick really bad, so I was super worried. At one point, actually, it was easier for me to be out of the Jeep and sitting up on top. because they had like seating up on top of the ferry, and I was even though it was really, really windy and cold out on the water, I was much happier up there than I was sitting in the car, because whew, that was rough. That water is pretty choppy. But anyhow, I survived, and now we are moving on to pictures of later that day. That one in the upper right up there is a picture that we took. There is a scenic lookout somewhere between Ellison Bay and Sister Bay, and that is a bumpy road too. Man, is that a bumpy road. But we drove out there, and there's this like planky type walk that's like 15 feet out over the water. It's pretty sturdy, but I was still a little scared. But we went out there and set Keith's camera on a ledge, and then with his iWatch, we were able to take a picture, even though he wasn't holding his phone. You know, we can set the phone on something, and then he can make the camera, or he can make the camera on his phone take a picture on his watch. So we did a few selfies like that. That was fun too. And then you don't have to hand your $900 iPhone to a stranger to take a picture of you. Not that people aren't trustworthy, but you know, you don't always want to pull a Clark Griswold in European Vacation and have someone run off with your camera, right? Okay. So now we are moving on to, we went to the Door County Winery and did a wine tasting that afternoon, because we got back from Washington Island about 3 p.m. Then we went back to the hotel and kind of figured out what else we wanted to do. And then we ran down further south into Door County and went to the winery. We did a winery tour. We tasted like 7 different wines. They also have a distillery. We did not do that because there's no Uber in Door County. And we didn't want to get too hammered because you don't want to be driving around drunk, obviously. So after that, then we went to Shipwrecked, which is a super fun bar and eatery in Fish Creek, because we wanted to catch the Kentucky Derby, because that was actually Kentucky Derby Day. And then my husband did a flight of all the different like beers that they make in Door County, but they were really small. They were like, I don't know, 3 ounces a piece. So they were really small flights. And then I just had one, I think I had like a strawberry beer while we watched the Derby. And after that, we went to dinner at, oh boy, Wild Tomato, also in Fish Creek, because they have one in Fish Creek and they have a Wild Tomato in Sister Bay. And we've eaten at the one in Sister Bay a couple of times, but we'd never eaten at the one in Fish Creek. And it was a really chilly weekend. Like, it was probably in the 50s and pretty windy, and but it was really fun to eat outside, because we felt really hearty, and like, I don't know, it was really fun to eat outside even though it was cold. They did have their like gas kind of heater things outside, so that at least kept us a little bit warm. Okay, that is actually going to bring us to the end of day 2. I just let my camera run until the battery died, which is usually about an hour. So you watched about an hour of me working on my album, and now it is very early on Saturday, and I have the whole rest of the weekend. I could probably finish that off this weekend. Now you are seeing a whole bunch of stills of everything that I worked on. I've only got one more day left, which, like I said, is Sunday, and we didn't do a whole lot on Sunday because Door County is a 5.5-hour drive. So that pretty much takes up most of our day. And we also had to run down to La Crosse to pick up the girls from Keith's mom and dad. So we did hang out with them for several hours just to listen to what they did over their weekend too. So this Wednesday, I should probably have another just, normal old Project Life documenter spread. And then next Saturday, I will have my last installment, or day 3 of my Door County mini album. So I hope all you ladies have a great crafty weekend, and look for more from me Wednesday and Saturday. Bye, ladies.